This is the Aftermarket Radio Network.
Hey everybody, Carm Capriato, Remarkable Results Radio here at ASTA in Raleigh, ASTAExpo.com. Thank you so much to NAPA Tracks for sponsoring us to be here this year. Always appreciative to the great SMS system, NAPA Tracks. Registration is now open for AAPEX 2024, November 5th through the 7th. You know, AAPEX will build upon the incredible success of Joe's Garage, a 10-bay working environment. From hands-on to the best training, if you earn your living in the auto service aftermarket, AAPEX is for you. Visit AAPEXshow.com. Hey, did you know that NAPA Tracks has on-site training plus 6 days a week support? It all starts when a local representative meets with you to learn about your business and how you run it. After all, it's your shop, so it's your choice. Let us prove to you that Trax is the single best shop management system in the business. Find NAPA Trax on the web at NAPATRACS.com. Also, thanks to AftermarketManagementNetwork.com for information that can help you move your business ahead, and for the free and informative LaborRateTracker.com. Keith Perkins.
Hello.
Hey, man. L1 training, L1 diagnostics and programming, L1 automotive. Did I miss anything?
Nah, I think we're just going to go with L1 Auto Group at some point.
Yeah, L1.
Right?
Yeah.
Just condense.
I just love that. You remind me of me, Keith, when I first started podcasting. And I says, let's do a second one. And we did. And then I says, let's do a single subject forum. So we created the Academy. And then I said, let's do shop tours. Let's do Aftermarket Weekly. Oh, wait a minute. Let's get rants going. Let's call it For the Record.
Yeah. What are we going to call it? Call it the Aftermarket Radio Network.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. L1 Automotive Group. I love that.
Something. We're rolling with that. I've got that domain, and I think I have like one business credit card with that on there just to test how it feels when I swipe it. How does it look? You know what I mean? Aesthetics are important.
Unbelievable.
Does it flow well? Can I just L1 Auto Group? Does it come out right? Does it look good?
Yeah.
Can I type it? My fingers want to get weird when I try to.
You're training everywhere. He's everywhere.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the date? 28th?
Yeah.
Yeah, so last weekend, I was in San Antonio, and the week before that was in Boise. So starting with the Boise trip, so 2 weeks ago, I won't be home a single weekend until 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, with exception of one weekend, which is October 26th, 27th, because we're doing a class at our shop. So I still don't get to be home for that. I got to be at the shop all day, Saturday, Sunday, teaching again. So I teach every single weekend till then. So yeah, a lot of events.
I wonder if enough of the industry that's sitting in the class that you're doing, virtual or live, realizes the commitment that our trainers make. It's not like you don't earn $1 million a year doing training.
No.
Okay. You're passionate about it. You're good at it. People want you to be their trainer. The commitment is almost unfathomable.
Yeah. Usually every spring or fall, it gets like that. This one by far is the worst. I say worst. By far the busiest.
Yeah, the busiest time.
We've had. Yeah.
And besides all of that, being a NASTAF board member.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think at AAPEX, you're doing a live meeting, right?
Yeah, we usually have one at AAPEX live in person, and then we have one usually like ETI Tool Tech. That'll happen in person because a lot of members are already going to be at those events for other obligations. Sure. So let's leverage that. We
recently interviewed Donnie Cipher, lead executive director, chairman. I miss exactly what Donnie's title is. It was a great episode. And I chatted with you about what's going on with NASTAF and all the neat VSP stuff. And I said, hey, come in the studio. Let's talk about it. So let's talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
All right. I understand, because probably wherever you work, move here, there's 3 or 4 different opinions going on.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of negative connotation around things that are happening right now.
Why?
Misinformation. That's what most of it is. And then trepidation, fear of change, those kinds of things.
Fear of change. You know what? Tomorrow there's going to be some new technology on a brand new model that's going to go out, and we're going to hear about it in a year or two. And we're going to say, oh, okay, I got to learn about that. That's change, man.
Yeah. The level of that thought process is, though, is people will go, well, I'm not going to work on, first of all, I'm not going to see those new cars for 5 years, what a lot of people will say. I work on brand new cars all the time, but most day in, day out repair shops, 5, 6, 7 years before they start seeing those cars. Right. So for them, it's, we'll have plenty of time to learn about it and do all those things. And then the other end is they can choose not to work on them. So the change that's going to affect people coming up in the future, possibly, again, this is a possible, we'll get into the dynamics of what's happening, is that it may affect the tools they have in their shop now they've already paid money for. And so there's a warranted hold up what's going to happen to the pieces of equipment I have purchased. That is a warranted concern, right? If I sold you your phone in a year, I say, hey, we're removing this feature or requiring you to put in this piece of information before we'll allow this thing to work. For sure, you'd be worried about that. You would be mad at the company that sold you, not that sold you the phone, maybe the phone manufacturer. And that's where I think it's weird, unwarranted, because NASTF has taken some blame for something they're not doing. And they're taking some blame for something that's not even happening. That's part of what's going on.
They're working with the OEs and the aftermarket, and NASTF's a conduit to be sure that legitimate people have access to things that, and again, let's go back to the stealing of the car and the whole VSP thing. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. And I guess the best way, because a lot of people are going to be like, what's going on with this? They've heard a bunch of what they think it is. I'll lay it out really clear and concise in just a couple minutes, if I can, to make it more layman's terms of what's going on. What's come out that's causing a lot of controversy is called the Aftermarket Scan Tool Validation Program. So a lot of people got an email that said from NASTF that said, as soon as 45 to 60 days from today, and this was, I think this email was in March, or I don't even remember. As soon as 45 to 60 days of this email, you may be required to put in your vehicle security credential into your aftermarket scan tool in order to do functions such as add a key, all keys lost, or other functions that the original equipment manufacturer deems as an immobilizer function. That was the concise version of the email. And it says that it may require you to put it in before you do one of those transactions, or it may require you to do it at least once every 24 hours between transactions. So what was the purpose of this? I don't have the exact specifics because it's always chicken or the egg in this situation. There was some kind of meeting somewhere between people that are much more important than I am, that do way more things than I do. I'm on the board. For those that don't know what a board member is, just look up different things that board members do. We communicate and discuss different positions of how we do if this is the right thing for the association. So I'm not involved. I don't get to make decisions of everything. I don't get to say yes or no.
You have a voice, though.
I have a voice. Yeah, we hear about things, or hey, we're going this direction. That email came out, and what people need to recognize is this program, this scan tool validation program, is a completely voluntary program. Any aftermarket scan tool can decide yes or no. NASTF is a not-for-profit association, 501c6. We're an industry organization association for the members. 40-something thousand plus members at this point. It's free to join. If you're in the industry, you need to be a NASTF member. That way you have a voice. You can vote on who goes in the board. I'm a technician from Tulsa. So I don't own a multi-million-dollar company. I get to say, we just did over $1 million. That's awesome. We're a little bitty company. We're years in. That's awesome between all of them. But I'm not some huge conglomerate. I didn't do anything like that. I pushed hard. I wanted to see a change. I saw, hey, this is interesting in the automotive industry. I think the NASTF thing could be a good and or a bad. I'd like to see some changes. So I got on the board to try to make changes.
Just as a timeout on the board, Seth Thorson, Chris Chesney, you are three names that I look on that list that I say, hey, I know.
Yeah.
They're aftermarket people.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to represent parts of the industry.
Yeah.
Scott Brown, or two. So like all friends.
Scott Brown's there,
all friends of the podcast. So we're same thing. So anyways, beyond that, program is completely voluntary. And it came about from one of a couple things, but the long and the short of it is this program's available for aftermarket scan tools to use if they would like. We can't require them to use it. We are not requiring them to use it. There is some talk that ETI may be requiring these scan tool companies to utilize this program in order to stay on ETI, but that's not a NASTF decision. That's just hey, we have this program. We also didn't make this program for them. We've had it for a long time. If you're a Jaguar Land Rover scan tool user, every time you log on the tool, it asks you, would you like to log into the trust center? Yes or no. If you click no, then the mobilizer functions are turned off in the tool. If you click yes, you put in your NASTF credential if you're aftermarket, or you put in your OEM credential if you're at a dealer, and then you have a mobilizer functions. That's the same API call, to get not too technical, but it's the same server call. Just NASTF, we give a thumbs up, thumbs down. Just yes, they're credentialed. No, they don't have an active credential.
Why would somebody not want to be credentialed?
It's change. It's different. Now, a lot of the biggest part is the locksmith industry altogether is by and large not NASTF members. Do you know the brand of legitimate locksmith tool?
No,
there isn't one.
Oh.
You either have the OEM tools or you have an aftermarket tool. The locksmith industry was created by people that innovate, create, and break through those things. Because for a long time, way before we had NASTF and ETI and these abilities to purchase tools that are licensed OEM software? The answer was, who did keys? Only the dealers. Then you need a key at 2 a.m. So somebody figured out how to make that work, and that created the locksmith industry. They're creators, they're innovators, they're coders, programmers, they're smart people, engineers, people who developed ways to break through these immobilizer systems to create tools for good use, but there isn't an original one. So by and large, locksmiths are not part of NASTF because they don't, from their own words, you can watch all the videos where they come in and they question NASTF, they question Donnie. They say, we don't need NASTF. We don't have you. We don't need you. We can pick locks. We can make our own tools. NASTF is making available a software that may be potentially put onto the tools they already own and pay for that would make it to where they would need NASTF at that point to utilize that tool. Possibly. Again, this is all possible. Isn't happened. No one's requiring it.
We're in limbo.
Yep, definitely.
Where's it going?
I hope that it turns on. We have a major car theft problem, and that's the thing where people get caught up. So the biggest opposition to this that I've had is part of NASTF's verbalization of why this happens or why this is coming about is because we have a massive car theft problem. And everyone agrees there's a car theft problem. We have more stolen cars every year than what we've ever had since before immobilizers. I think the 70s was the closest that we ever had this problem. It's grown every year. So when NASTF says this is partially an effort to stop car theft, people immediately go, this isn't going to stop car theft. You're right. It will not stop all car theft. NASTF isn't going to reach out to the crowbar industry and squeeze crowbar industry. We're a not-for-profit. We're not a government agency. We're not any of that stuff. We're an organization for our members. And there's legislation in states that are going to try to make it illegal to own these pieces of equipment and tools unless you have a state locksmith license.
Ow.
So
yeah, were you telling me that the other day? Or someone was talking to me about locksmith licenses.
Yeah, I talk about it quite a bit.
Okay.
So I'm in Oklahoma, and then Texas is close by. We had some very similar laws. Oklahoma's laws just recently changed. Texas's laws have not.
So this would even get more convoluted.
Yeah. So if NASTF, just like the ASE conversation, if ASE never stepped in and we would have some government overreach into our industry back in the day. So today, if we don't step in and if somebody doesn't do something to curb the automotive industry's image in the car theft law enforcement community, then maybe those legislations, the two that are looking at being like, there's one in Michigan, I think it's one in Texas or Louisiana or Chicago or Illinois or something. There's two big pieces of legislation in for states, and that would make it illegal to own tools that add immobilizers or do immobilizer jobs or add keys to cars unless you have a state locksmith license. And that sounds like a good thing to me.
Rumor has it that a state locksmith license takes a while to get.
So up until November of last year in Oklahoma, if I would like to get a state locksmith license, I have to quit my job as an automotive shop owner. I have to go work as a locksmith technician apprentice for 2 years under a licensed locksmith manager. Then I could go take the test to get my state locksmith license. And then I could start my business back. So I need to go work as a $14 an hour apprentice and then learn sprinkler systems, closed circuit television, fire alarms, and commercial and residential locksmithing. Because our state, Oklahoma, has no legislation or anything specific to automotive locksmithing at all. But to be an automotive locksmith, you have to have the state locksmith license.
So why would anyone in the aftermarket that owns a shop want to think about doing anything with keys? They wouldn't want to.
I facilitate the repair of vehicles. I have to fix vehicles, and immobilizers are in everything. You can't put an ABS module in a new Ford without doing the immobilizer. You can't put an ABS module in a Honda without doing the immobilizer. You can't put a body control module, an engine control module.
There's the answer. There's the answer. So they're going to legislate you out
of repairing a vehicle.
Yeah.
It's because the people who make these laws aren't doing that on purpose. They're not going, we want to remove shops. They're saying we need to protect cars.
But they don't get it.
But they don't understand how far that goes. The consumer doesn't know how much the immobilizer system is involved in their car.
Do you think the legislators know that that NASTF is there and that there's a better way working with the OEs?
They don't. I talk to Donnie often about that. When he gets involved and tries to, we don't do a lot of lobbying at NASTF. We're just an organization. We take care of our members. We liaison between OEMs and the aftermarket and try to fill those gaps of what the aftermarket's missing.
But wouldn't the OEM saying, hey, I got guys in here. We've got to do this thing. I'm not going to send them out to be a locksmith.
The OEMs are different. Because the OEMs all have access to their OEM tools.
I'm sorry. You're right.
So the aftermarket only has access to the OEM tooling side of locksmithing because of NASTF. NASTF credentials individuals.
Yeah.
And we're that step that like, hey, we're here to help you. We're the helping hand of join us, give us a little bit of info. Yeah. We have to, because we have to clarify that you're not someone who's got 6 charges of grand theft auto. And then cool, perfect. You meet the minimum qualifications. Here's your credential. You can now log into the OEM tool and do all the same things the dealer can do.
Do you think where they're heading, where all this crap as heading would stop some of the cars from being stolen?
Few. It's not going to do all of them. Yeah. There's still going to be, like in Canada, my friend Jeff Compton.
Yeah.
I was talking to him not too long ago. He said in Canada, it's a problem because no one has guns, not a whole lot of gun stuff up there. So they're kicking in doors, going into people's bedrooms and telling them, give us the keys to your car, to your G-Wagon. So his local area that's got to cut the local police area are telling people, put your keys by the front door, that way when they kick in your front door, they grab your keys and leave. If they can't find them, they're going to come to your bedroom. That sounds very sensationalized. I'm sure it's a very small piece of that, right? It's just an example. I'm not trying to use an incendiary thing. Someone's going to listen to this and go, okay, that happened twice. I agree. I'm just getting to the point that NASTA, we're not going to solve all car theft. That's not even our purview, right? If there's 1 million cars stolen and NASTF's job is to credential individuals with locksmithing tools, so we're only going to be able to deal with the locksmithing tool part of it, right? We can only stop 10% of all that. So when we say we're hoping it's going to prevent theft, people immediately go, you're not going to stop 1 million car thefts. You're absolutely correct. It's not going to prevent people from buying crowbars, stealing cars, from carjacking them, from getting a tow truck and towing them off. But what it will stop is someone grabbing a tool that is unregulated, hooking it to a car and stealing a car. And that does happen all the time. There's hundreds of videos on YouTube you can watch. Someone grab a $500 tool and do it.
The shops are getting broken into and they're stealing their tools.
I think that's a small part of it too, also. Yeah. Like, that's what affects our industry. If we wanted to stop all car theft, it's outside of NASTA's hands. We just go to the police and go, hey, you need to start locking people up for 20 years every time they steal a car. That would probably prevent a lot more of it. NASTA doesn't talk to police and do that. We don't do that part. We're just trying to prevent our shop owner associate members from losing the ability to fix cars. That's our only job, is to fill the service gaps, right? And this is that step. If there's legislation in a couple states, there may be legislation in other states that's going to prevent it. If we let that legislation go through, I would have had to close my shop and go be an apprentice for 2 years to keep fixing cars. And keys and immobilizer is a big part of my business. There's locksmiths out there that probably don't have a locksmith license. They should have one if that's their job. And it's just a weird situation for us. All the guys in Texas are in the same boat. Automotive repair shops that do key and immobilizer, it's hard to get a locksmith license in Texas.
AAPEX 2024 and Joe's Garage is your main destination to experience the best business management and technical training. You'll find training for ADAS calibration, high-voltage vehicle technology, advanced drivability, diagnosing turbo problems, ultrasonic diagnostics, and fixing the nose start, among others. Go to AAPEXshow.com to register and see all your course options. Business management sessions will include driving shop profits through shop production, revolutionizing service advising, what Gen Y and Z are looking for in the workplace, building a dream team, and designing recession-resilient SOPs. Many of the industry's top trainers will lead the training, including Eric Ziegler, Greg Bunch, Rich Falco, Rick White, Cecil Bullard, Bill Haas, and Sarah Frazier, along with Keith Perkins, Isaac Rodell, and Robert Kenny, just to name a few. These sessions were picked from a panel of shop owners who reviewed more than 400 submissions. In addition, Joe's Garage will feature live car training sessions, including everything EV, Tesla drive-train problem-solving, an overview of Tesla information resources, and factory scan tools. This year, many training topics align with ASE certification tests, which will help participants prepare for certifications noted in session descriptions. There is an AAPEX special seminar package, which includes 5 training sessions of your choice. For more information and to register for AAPEX 2024 in Las Vegas, November 5th through the 7th, go to AAPEXshow.com. Hey, let's face it, your shop management system is the single most important tool in your shop, period. NAPA Trax has made selecting the right shop management system easy by offering the industry's best, most comprehensive SMS. Now, it all starts when a local representative meets with you to learn about your business and how you need to run it. After all, it's your shop, so it's your choice, and having local representation is a huge plus. Customizing Trax to your business, whether you're a one-person shop or a large multi-bay or multi-location company, a representative consults with you to help optimize your shop's workflow, efficiency, and profitability. Trax always has the flexibility to do business how you need to do it, which means it can also grow as your business grows. And unlike the other guys, we'll be there for you after installation with the best training and support in the business. Yes, a learning management system tailored to each role in your company. Simply put, Trax was designed and built for shop owners just like you. Visit us on the web at NAPA Trax, that's NAPATRACS.com. Hey, ever wonder how your labor rate compares to your market and state? You now have a site where you can confidentially upload your rate and see other labor rates published in your market. LaborRateTracker.com is an important site to know about. Currently, the database has over 1,000 shops participating and growing every day. But there's more to setting your rates than finding out what others charge. You should look at the labor rates in your state and town to gain a complete picture of the labor rate landscape. Hey, it's easy. Get market intelligence like never before at LaborRateTracker.com.
You think some of this legislation is just going to die because they're going to start really understanding what they're doing?
I don't know. I hope it does. I hope it doesn't get pushed through. And
how do you think the legislation starts? Who goes to somebody and says, hey, listen, we need laws about this? Where's it coming from?
Chicago. They've got a massive car theft problem. I use that one example. It's not just Chicago. Please don't everyone in Chicago think I'm blaming you. There's a massive car theft problem there. And they're like, how do we do this? Well, we got these videos of guys taking these tools that are $400 and hooking them to a car and stealing a Chevy. And that's one of the most popular ones that just came out. Dude does it without even...
What Chevy? Which model?
Like a late model Suburban. Like it was like an 18 Suburban.
Really?
Yeah. Just using a tool that was less than $450 on multiple websites that don't vet who they sell stuff to. You can go to walmart.com and buy it. I don't want to say the tool name because I don't want to advertise that. I don't want to help with that. And it's not just one tool, but this particular video is using one tool, and it's frustrating because they're showing that. And then so all these lawmakers go, that's the kind of stuff that's the problem, right? They see this video. So they go, we need to ban that tool. That tool is also in thousands of shops being used to repair vehicles for customers, for their clients. I'm taking care of my customers. I'm not stealing cars. So then lawmakers are going, well, we just ban all those tools except for people that have a locksmith license. And then inadvertently not realizing that most shops don't have a locksmith license because we're not locksmiths. I'm not a locksmith.
Every rule was made to be broken.
That's right. So that's my frustration.
It's way short-sighted, and you should be frustrated. And are you doing anything? Have you sent a letter to your state at all?
Yeah, I have. I've actually reached out to Governor Stitt about it, and working with Auto Care Association like that puts on SEMA and stuff. I've said, hey, I'm welcome at any point in time to please, if you could use influence to get Governor Stitt to come talk to me so I can talk to him about it. So at least it does. Hopefully it doesn't happen in Oklahoma. I don't want to see that. I want him to be informed. Like this would negatively affect automotive repair shops.
Listen, when this episode comes out, you should just send the link to him. Maybe you can't get a one-on-one or a phone call. Let's just let him hear this.
Yeah, that's a big part. So there's all of that stuff happening. That's just locksmiths are getting upset by it because it's going to take a tool that they currently have and make it not have as many functions unless they get a credential that cost $425 for the first 2 years, $325 for every 2 years after that. That's where it's at.
I always think that those things are money grabs.
That's what we hear a lot. That's a money grab.
You got to pay for somebody to have a job to monitor it.
Anyone that thinks I'm misconstruing this, if NASTF gets more members that are paying, then more money comes into NASTF's bank account. As a not-for-profit, most 25% of all of our money has to be spent on education to our constituents, which is what NASTF doesn't sponsor me. I'm on the board. I don't want to ask NASTF to pay for my way to go teach at some place because I think that looks rough for me. Mm-hmm. I would be mad if NASTF was paying one of their board members. I wouldn't be mad, but I could see how it would be conflict of interest, even though it's probably not. But NASTF has never sponsored me. I've been accused of being a shill and paying that I'm going to make a bunch of money from this and that I get paid way too much for being on the board for NASTF. My salary is $0.00. I have got 2 really nice 5-star restaurant dinners out of it. And then I've gotten like 6 or 7 sack lunch, Jersey Mike's type sandwich lunches from meetings and stuff. And we got a couple catered breakfasts at events.
You should go to jail for that.
Yeah, it did cost.
I'm only kidding.
It cost me $6,200 last year of all my travel.
To
get to events.
Listen, I've served on boards.
Yeah,
the pleasure you serve at your pleasure.
Absolutely.
At these boards. I was never paid to do anything. It was from your heart to my heart. Things that you wanted to give. We're here at ASTA. Great board members. A great organization. Nobody earns anything. No. Maybe the occasional hotel if they go offsite for a meeting. The association is going to pick up that hotel. Not for you?
I think the board voted that for the few board members that are individual shop owners that have less than 2 locations. So I think Seth got excluded from this. Maybe not, but I can't remember. That they would reimburse us for travel costs. Mm-hmm. But I've yet to ask for any reimbursement. I usually get paid by other companies to go to those events and train. So like I'm coming to SEMA to teach. I'm going to teach a class at AAPEX. Auto Care Association gives all instructors, not just me, all instructors are going to do it. Their hotel gets paid for.
Yeah.
And then we get a dollar amount towards the flights.
Yeah.
It'll cover my flight. It will not cover Liz's. My wife is coming.
Yeah.
It'll almost cover all of my flight. I'll be like $40 of my money towards the flight.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. So I haven't actually turned in a single expense to NASTA ever. And I'm going to keep it that way.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't really understand that about people who are on boards.
I think they also think that we go there and everyone high fives and how can we do things? No, we yell at each other. I've had extreme disagreements with people on the board. I'm an automotive technician. On the board, there's also OEMs being represented.
Yeah.
I
got the list. I got the list in front of me.
You got the board members?
Yeah.
How did you get that? We hide that from everyone in the world. How did you get that? I'm kidding. It's public available.
I know it is. I got it right off the website.
Yeah, there we go.
It says board members, and I got it. I copied it, and I brought it here to the studio.
Sure enough, that's a complete list, except for the 2 hidden Illuminatis we keep on the board.
Yeah, they're from Italy, and they, I know.
Yes. Yeah. So as you can see, everyone can go to NASTA's publicly facing website, get a list of those board members, and you can see that there's a lot of pieces of our industry represented. We have a locksmith. We have some shop owners. We have some training companies.
Parts company, tool companies. Yeah.
NADA's on there to represent like some dealers association stuff. So we've got a good representation of the industry on there. We'd like to see some from, I think, like recovery or the people that go and tow cars away and.
Oh, they're going to pick up cars that have been repoed.
I'd like to see repo auctions. Like I don't see anybody from there on that. And I'd like to see probably another locksmith too. Claude's been on for a long time and has a lot of fantastic connections. I'd like to see another locksmith because now a lot of things we're doing are affecting a lot more locksmiths.
Yeah.
I would like to see one more on there with Claude because that way we could have 2 possible opposing views of the same part of the industry.
Got it.
So there's a couple shop owners. We don't always agree. Scott and I don't do things the same. Craig and I don't do things the same.
Yeah.
Seth and I do not do things the same. And there's a couple OEMs. Those guys are not all best friends. They each think they got the best car, right? So they're on there. We have disagreements. We hand these things
That's the
out.
beauty of any board that serves a constituency. And I've served on them for years. And it's nice to have a dialogue to learn from each other, but you're not always going to agree their particular position on anything.
Yeah.
And the board, but if it's a Democratic vote and that's where NASTAF and Donnie has to go, then that's what you guys decide as a group. It's a great group.
He doesn't always like our choices either.
Yeah, but he ultimately, that's what the board is there for.
Yeah.
I think you succinctly helped me understand a little bit better of all the moving pieces of what's going on with NASTAF and locks and stolen vehicles. It's an epidemic.
Yeah. And our industry has to do its part or we'll get some blame. If we didn't do anything at all, we just, cars get stolen. Sorry. Yes, I'm using the same tool the guy that used the car theft, but don't take my tool away. I don't want my tool taken away.
All right, Keith. Thanks for the update. Any final words that we should know that's floating through your mind?
Flew by fast.
Yeah, I know. And
we hardly even talked about keys.
Did you eat lunch yet? Oh, yeah. Let's talk about keys. Yeah, I want to make keys. Golly.
Yeah.
Key machines here. I love keys.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of stuff.
You know what? I rented a car while I'm here.
You can make one.
It has a key.
Yep.
Did I show it to you?
No.
It has a key. Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I walked in and I said, I sat in this new RAV and I'm looking all over the dashboard for the button.
Nope. Got a flip key on it.
I have a flip key on a new car. I think I came up to you and I says, why are they doing this? And everybody's basically cost savings. And I can't believe that the cost savings, there's a column. Why put the key in the column? Just build 1 million touch buttons. Right. Is it that much more expensive?
There's more components. There's modules that have to talk through radio frequency.
Got it.
So then we got to talk about FCC IDs. So then we got to pay Big Brother for having an ID on there. We have to fill out a piece of paperwork to get an individualized ID for
frequency.
That car. Yes, all those things.
Yeah, you're carrying a radio station in your pocket, right?
Yes, yeah. 433 megahertz, 315, 902, one of those frequencies, right?
Sure.
So the components there have an additional cost when we have just some already made stuff. I mean, it's the components to make those other immobilizer systems are cheaper. So saving a ton of money, right? That's what they're all about. Enterprise had some agreement with GM a long time ago, and they used to make Malibus that had no dome lights just for Enterprise.
Save $9 a car.
There you go. $9 a car times 30,000 cars.
Yeah.
That sounds someone in bean counter somewhere did their job.
And there's probably a few minutes of installation time and a different hood liner.
Yeah. I think they put a plastic cover where it did go. I think they didn't change the headliner at all. There was no production line change difference. No. I think it was a little plastic cover that just clipped right in.
Clipped right in.
Yeah. The harness was still there.
But it didn't do anything.
Yeah, the harness was still there. The harness went to it. You could pull it out and put a dome light in that place of that little cap.
Only in America.
Yeah.
So the whole key thing, we asked a ton of people that we know in Buffalo, Tracy, right? Who does keys? No one raised their hand. Why is that?
The state legislation around getting a locksmith license in New York is pretty rough too. And the insurance cost, I think, to be a locksmith is a big part of that. New York, you guys aren't exactly known for having the lowest cost of living or anything. Yeah, anything, right? Yeah. So I'm sure getting insurance there is more expensive. I'm sure jumping through the hoops and going and taking a class that's probably not close to you. They probably only run classes in the city. So you got to take that drive or something close. Yeah. Or maybe there's one in Syracuse that gets done a year. Maybe there's one in Brooklyn that gets done a year and one in Manhattan and in Staten Island and then maybe Buffalo, right?
Yeah,
or whatever. Maybe. And then to just simply cut a key and then you got to drive around in a van that's got equipment that could be used to steal cars. So then you're a target. Lots of things with that. I would think owning a car in general in New York around the city would be a terrible situation. Spent a lot of time in Brooklyn. I don't want to drive. Now out in Buffalo, different story. Beautiful area, lots of driving, looks fantastic driving around. So I don't know. I'm not sure why you don't have much locksmiths up there. Is it hard to get keys done? Are keys that something?
We've got locksmiths, but I'm talking about shops that do keys.
If you do a key in New York, you got to have a locksmith license.
That's my point.
Yeah. You're going to have to go through those hoops. You're going to get that insurance. You're going to have to get that license. Send a technician. What if we pay to have that technician trained and he leaves?
Yeah, that's going around here a little bit.
Yeah.
That's always the hot topic at a conference.
I'm being facetious for those just listening.
Thank you for being facetious and thank you for bringing it up. And it's a broken record, but every once in a while, we got to bring it back. Yeah. What if you don't train them and they stay?
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't care. I hope I train all of them really great. And I hope all the ones that want to go start a business and get super successful and be like, my dopamine just kicks off when they're like, Keith taught me and I got inspired and I went and started I left him and I started a business. Hasn't happened yet, but it'd be really cool if they did. And I'd be like, yeah, man, that business down the road, that huge shop you see down there, I taught that guy everything he knew before he started.
Yeah. And guess what? We're friends.
I helped make him successful.
We're friends. We're buddies. We're not competitors. I'm going to do anything I can to help him. In fact, he's learning so much that he's sending work here. I'm helping.
Yeah. He got 2 apprentices from the school and one of them, he didn't have a lot of work for. So I took the other one.
Yeah.
And we're growing another set of guys.
The guy down the road, the guy in the next town is not your competitor. There's other competitors to our business. But when you look at a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, you're in a club and you just don't know it. You just don't know it.
Yeah. And everyone here, none people here, unfortunately, there's no one else from Tulsa here. I can't even get local shops. I have a shop that's owned by a young man around me. And Travis, I love you and you'll probably never listen to this, but if you do, I think I finally got him to come to a class of mine. I offered to have him come to a class. Obviously, it cost money to come. Last time, I had 2 open slots that we didn't fill. So I was like, perfect. I called Travis, just come. Just show up. He did not come. Offered free training event that I normally charge a little over $1,000 for. 2 days, hands-on, all day long. Learn a whole new skill set, use it. And I think he's coming to the next one.
You think?
Yeah, he's called now and asked, do you have a couple slots open? I offered it to him free and he didn't show up. I'm not offering it to him free again. But we tried that once. So now he's a customer also.
Keith, as a trainer, and you're seeing the best of the best, or at least you're seeing the people who want to move up in their career and in their companies come to training. You're looking at them in the eye, no matter where it is that you're going. What are you seeing? What are they asking you? Are they humble enough to know that they need to study and be a student forever?
The ones that are here?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all interested in talking about the next training event, the next thing they're going to add to their business, and their next opportunity of what they can learn. The ones that are here are, for the most part. Even the ones that are just first getting into it, they're like, this. I didn't realize there was this much with the industry. I said, just keep going. Yeah. There's so much more.
Yeah. And the ones that are here, why can't we go out to them? This is a crazy thought of mine and say, you got to bring a buddy.
We do. We tell them. I try to bring a buddy. I've invited tons of people.
And the buddies are stubborn.
Yeah.
But work with me on the work-life balance thing. This is something that seems to be the greatest excuse in the entire world.
Yeah.
You don't understand. I've got soccer. We've got challenges at home.
Yep.
I have the kids this weekend. She has them next weekend. Or We have a wedding. Life goes on.
Mm-hmm.
So I cannot make a commitment 1 hour, 8 hours, a year to even go. And that's where I have to call a timeout on the excuses that I keep hearing, that there isn't a conference. If I'm going to come to ASTA in this particular time in September and I know about it in December, why isn't it that I can't plan my life around it and advance my career?
Yeah, you can. It's just an excuse. I don't have a great word of wisdom for you on that. It's just an excuse. Stop it. Be a grown up.
You're right. Be a grown up. Shut up. Grow up.
Yeah. A friend shop of mine in town, Urban Auto Care, I got to give him a shout out.
Sure.
He's got a big giant sign inside of his building that says, nobody cares, work harder. Don't come to me, ask for help, ask how I can do what you do. And then when I tell you, you got to come to some training events, go, oh, I don't have time for that. Then you don't have time to get better. Stop asking questions. Here's your bill. Unfortunately, how it happens. I'll be in a shop. I'm called out to a shop, diagnose a problem. How'd your friend figure that out? Taking a bunch of training classes and learn some interesting techniques and have a piece of equipment. Oh, I can't do that. Yes, you can. We have the same job. Exactly the same job.
So is YouTube getting in the way of people thinking that they don't need training?
No, I hope that that's what Train by Techs and what myself started when we started making YouTube videos of things was check out this cool thing I learned. You should go to a training event and learn it and other things yourself.
Yeah.
Hopefully to inspire people to come to training.
In the beginning of your class, I don't know if you have handouts, a manual or anything, or encourage note taking. What would you recommend to someone sitting in your class they do with their notes?
Keep them on their toolbox. But the biggest thing ever is take what you learned and go use it at least 10 times in the next 30 days. But I'm not going to have 10 cars, Keith, that I need to go in cylinder with a pressure transducer. Yeah, you do. If you're going to see 10 cars in 30 days, test it on a known good. Learn the process on a known good car first. Then when you get a broken car, you know the process and you can know that what you're looking at isn't a signal acquisition error because you're unfamiliar with the tool and equipment. This is what the waveform looks like and it's bad.
Yeah. It's a been there, done there moment.
Yes.
And that's a reference point. Even though you saw it in class, when you do it yourself,
put your hands on it.
It becomes yours.
Tighten the nut yourself.
I love that.
Yeah. I could show someone who's never done a tire 100 times on a video how to do a tire. And then when you put the lug wrench in their hand, they go, wait, if I'm looking at it, left is counterclockwise. And then they go to pull on it and they go, whoa, this is really tight. Yeah. And then they pull up. Nope, you're going to hurt your back like that. You got to move your hips down a little. Pull up with there's 100 things going on there. There's dexterity involved. They go, this is a lot harder than what I thought. Exactly. You have to do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
I love it. Great final words. Thanks for finding the time.
Absolutely.
Good to see, always seeing you and Liz.
Absolutely. She's here.
Liz was in my class yesterday.
Oh, yeah. She was in Tracy's class.
I know. I was honored to have her. She was a great contributor.
Awesome.
All right. Keith Perkins, L1 Auto Group and NASDAQ board member. Thanks for all the great insights. Appreciate it.
Thanks for being on board to listen and learn from the premier automotive aftermarket podcast. Until next time.